Welcome to SHADHINPATH, where we make tech, career, and life in the USA simple to understand. If you're new here, consider subscribing. You keep hearing the same words everywhere: DevOps, cloud, Docker, Kubernetes, CI, CD, automation. But what does a DevOps engineer actually do? And could this be your path into a tech career? In the next few minutes, I'll explain exactly what DevOps is, what the job involves, and give you a clear, realistic, step-by-step roadmap to get started. Even if you're a complete beginner, DevOps is one of the most in-demand and well-paid career paths in modern software and cloud. And good news, many people enter it from IT support or help desk roles, not just computer science degrees. So let's break it down simply. First, what is DevOps? The word mixes two things: dev for software development and ops for IT operations. In the old days, developers wrote the code, then handed it off to a separate operations team that ran it on the servers. The two teams often didn't talk, so releases were slow, bugs slipped through, and when something broke, everyone blamed each other. DevOps fixes that. Think of it like a restaurant. A chef creates great dishes, but the kitchen also has to run fast and smoothly every single night. DevOps is the system that makes the whole kitchen work together. It's part culture, part mindset, and part tool set. And its goal is simple: build, test, deploy, monitor, and improve software faster and more reliably. So what does a DevOps engineer do day to day? You help developers deploy their applications. You build CI/CD pipelines, an automated assembly line that tests and ships code, so teams can release updates in minutes instead of weeks. You work with cloud platforms like AWS or Azure. You use Docker and Kubernetes to package and run apps. You automate boring, repetitive tasks so humans make fewer mistakes. You monitor applications to catch problems before users do. You troubleshoot when something breaks. And you constantly improve reliability, security, and performance. In short, you're the bridge between teams and the automation expert who keeps everything flowing. Let's make it real. A developer writes the code for a website. That code needs to reach real users and stay online around the clock. That's where you step in. You package the app so it runs the same everywhere, test it automatically, deploy it to the cloud, and monitor it to keep it fast and online. If traffic suddenly spikes or something breaks at 2 a.m., you've already set up systems to handle it. The developer builds it. You make sure it ships, scales, and survives in the real world. And that reliability is exactly why companies pay DevOps engineers so well. Now the part you came for, the beginner roadmap. Learn these in roughly this order, because each one builds on the last. Start with basic networking, how computers talk to each other, IP addresses, ports, and DNS. Then Linux commands. Most servers run Linux, so get comfortable in the terminal. Next, Git and GitHub for version control and sharing your work. Then basic scripting with Bash or Python to automate tasks. After that, cloud basics. And here's a key tip: don't try to learn AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud all at once. Pick one. AWS is the most in demand, and go deep. Then Docker and containers for packaging apps so they run anywhere. Then CI/CD pipelines to automate testing and deployment. Then Kubernetes basics for running containers at scale. Then infrastructure as code like Terraform for managing servers with code. Then monitoring and logging. And finally, security basics. Don't rush. Master the early steps first. They make everything later far easier. Now the key tools and what each is for. Linux, the operating system most servers run on. Git and GitHub, track code changes and store your projects. Docker, packages an app and everything it needs into a container that runs anywhere. Kubernetes, manages and scales many containers automatically. GitHub Actions or Jenkins, automate your build, test, and deploy pipeline. Terraform, create and manage cloud infrastructure using code. AWS or Azure, the cloud platforms where your apps run. Prometheus and Grafana, collect metrics and show them on dashboards so you can monitor health. And Bash or Python, for automation scripts. Good news, almost all of these are free to learn, and the cloud platforms offer free tiers so you can practice without spending money. A big question beginners ask: Do you need to code? Honest answer. DevOps is not the same as being a full-time software developer. You usually won't build entire applications from scratch, but basic scripting and coding are very helpful and honestly important. You should be able to read code, understand how an app runs, and write simple scripts. For example, a script that automatically backs up files or restarts a service. So you don't need to be a coding genius, but zero coding is a myth. Now the secret to actually learning DevOps: build projects. Tutorials teach you, projects prove you. Deploy a simple website using GitHub pages, a gentle warm-up. Dockerize a small web app. Create a CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Actions. Deploy an app to AWS or Azure. Set up basic monitoring. Write a bash script to automate a task. And put every project on GitHub with clear notes. In DevOps, your GitHub is basically your resume. Employers want to see what you've built, not just what you've watched. Let's avoid the common mistakes that slow beginners down. 1. Jumping into Kubernetes before you understand Linux and Docker. Walk before you run. 2. Watching endless tutorials without ever building anything. This is the #1 trap. 3. Ignoring networking basics. They matter more than you think. 4. Learning tools without understanding the workflow they fit into. 5. Not documenting your projects on GitHub. And 6. Thinking DevOps is only about tools. It's really a mindset, automation, collaboration, and reliability. Tools change every few years. The thinking stays. How long does this take? Let's be realistic. No fake promises. It depends on your background, time, and consistency. A complete beginner may need several months to build solid fundamentals, and often 6 months to a year to become job ready. But you don't have to wait. Start small projects right away and learn by doing. Consistency beats intensity. A steady hour a day for months will take you much further than one frantic weekend followed by nothing. One more tip. A recognized certification, like the AWS Cloud Practitioner, can help a beginner stand out while you build real experience. Where can this lead? There are several beginner-friendly entry points. Many people move from IT support into DevOps, or from a help desk role into cloud support. From there, common titles include Junior DevOps Engineer, Cloud Support Engineer, and Build and Release Engineer. And as you grow, Site Reliability Engineer, the role focused on keeping systems reliable, or Platform Engineer. You don't have to start at the top. There's a realistic ladder, and each step teaches you the next. Let's recap. DevOps is about automation, deployment, cloud, reliability, monitoring, and collaboration. As a beginner, start with Linux, Git, and scripting. Then learn cloud basics, Docker, and CI/CD. And only then move on to Kubernetes and the more advanced tools. Build small projects the whole way and put them on GitHub. It won't happen overnight, but if you stay consistent, step by step, you'll get there. If you want to learn DevOps, cloud, full-stack development, AI, and tech career skills, all in simple language, subscribe to SHADHINPATH and tell me in the comments, what part of DevOps is most confusing to you? Your question might become my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.